start swinging it, and instantly he'll start to speed up his wing beats, and then he'll stay right above me. He knows by doing this he's putting me under maximum pressure, and then when he wants, he'll then drop in with a death-defying stoop. The idea being is that the falcon always turns his prey in so he can strike it up. Yeah! Oh dear! That wasn't supposed to happen. He's really enjoying that.
He's got his dinner.
That's how quick his reactions are. Right, I've got it. I've beaten you, you love this because your lure broke. But if you want to watch what he's doing now, he's covering up his food with his wings. He's doing something called mantling over it. Birds of prey naturally mantle over their prey in order to protect it from any other airborne predators. And so what he's doing is he's grabbing it, he's holding it really tightly, but you can see how he's shielding it from you guys. And that's because he doesn't trust any of you in here. He doesn't know you well enough, and he's read your body language. So what he's doing is coming it right up and he's saying there's no way any of you are going to come and steal my dinner off me. So in order for me to take his dinner off him, I've got to do something called fair exchange. There's no robbery. So I go in my pocket, I find something good and tasty, and then I make my way in. On my gloved hand, and I exchange with him. So I go in, he goes, okay Dad, and he gives me that. Now that's meant to symbolise another bird. It might not look like a bird to you. When I'm hunting with the falcons, I put wings on it with the chasing and hunting. He's very good at catching partridge. But he continually mantles. And the reason he mantles is, again, he doesn't want anybody nicking him. Anybody you can see he's got a big wire dangling from him, that's not because he's radio controlled, it's a radio tracker. The best explanation of all of that is this kid thing to get notes to him since I know why you've got a wire thing from birds as a gun. It's such a big problem. The bird doesn't come back and blow up. It's radio tracker, it just means it flies up. So what I'm going to do is get on these little straps. I'm going to put them under the thumb. Have you ever heard that expression before? The thumb is the control. Have you ever heard of the expression wrap round your little finger? Again, it comes from falconry. The bird will be under your thumb and wrap round your little finger. He's eating his chicken now. He's eating the Dale chicken. He's ripping into it. And in a minute, he's going to become fed up. Have you ever said you feel fed up? Comes from falconry, because the bird, when it was fed up, wasn't interested in working again. So loads of terms we use every day are falconry terms. You might have noticed some of the birds are tethered. The best way of keeping the falcons in particular is to tether. If they go in aviaries, they get so anxious, they bash around. The majority of the time they just sit there very still. But then when they know it's flying time, they get anxious and you can get injuries. That's why we have them tethered. But you might have heard of the expression at the end of your tether. It comes from falconry. Loads and loads of it. It's so deep rooted in our history anyway. Well, he's totally thrown me in the car back to that happening. So I'm going to whiz him away. What we're going to do is give you tell you if you've got mobile telephones or keys, and you can tuck them away now because this next bird I can't save you from it. He's called Mr. Lucky. He's a striated caracara and he's really intelligent. He lives in a group naturally. You find him in the Falkland Islands. Mr. Lucky's just so clued up. He loves galaxy curves, hones in on them, and he'll steal them. And this is Mr. Lucky. The striated caracara is only found on the Falkland Islands, and at the moment he's scanning the audience to see what's worth nicking. And instantly he's spotting if anybody's red in colour or pink, because this bird is addicted to the colour red and pink. He's addicted so much that in the Falkland Islands you can't buy red underwear because these birds steal it off you. They not only steal it off you, they then take it away to their burrows and they mine them. Because what they want to do is they want to make their pads as interesting as possible, that the female caracaras go wild for them. The more stuff they've got in their bachelor pad, the more chance they've got of pulling a really nice chick. At the moment now, Shelley's just telling him to circle. So he's circling around. This bird follows hand signals. It's a bit flat the air today, so it's really hard work for him. But he's putting in the effort and he's on the bit of the woods round. Those little movements just tell him that he isn't allowed to land on Shelley's hand, and he has to do a big circle and then come back to me as I'm waiting here. And actually the correct thing was to make the army in the Falkland Islands. Well, there he is, he's seen chicken trainers. He's addicted. Come off. Last week we had a big battle because this kid was on the front row, very similar to you, and he was pulling my foot. And I was saying, you can't drag him along. Right, what we're going to do is show you how bright he is. Have you got? Thank you. You're a star. Right, I'm going to sink down here. Right. If Shelley gets it, throw it, Shelley. We've got a rubber egg. The rubber egg is going to symbolise the gnats. Go and get the egg for me, please. Go and get the egg. Wait, can I have my egg, please? Now. It's not a trick. Naturally do it. Go on, everybody, blink to Mystic, and we get it over there. There we are. Eggs in. Can I have my egg? Thank you. Go on, give them a round of applause. Big They naturally make eggs because it's good food for them, and then they can feed the young off it. It's like a little mini lunchbox. So he's done his job. At the moment he's busy nicking things. He's nicked loads of stuff lately and he tries to get it back to his aviary. He's making his aviary very similar to how he would his burrow. Well, now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to an unusual owl. In fact, this owl you won't see anywhere else in the world because he's actually a crossbreed owl and nobody's ever done it before, and it all happened by accident. Mates of mine in Germany. Mate of mine in Germany had a great grey owl and he had a Malaysian wood owl, and they were both males, and he thought he'd stick them in an aviary. And he rang me up and he said, "Hey Graham, do you reckon they'll be alright?" I said, "Well, you can only give it a go, keep an eye on them." So he put them together, he rang me up, said they're great. 3 weeks later he rang me up and said they laid an egg. I said, "Well, obviously there was a male, was it?" He goes, "What should I do?" So put an egg in the incubator. So he did. Well, the chap couldn't see. I went over there to pick up some vultures and he ended up giving me this owl, so it's quite interesting. He's called Pau, and I've got to say he's one of my happiest owls I've got. He's molting at the moment, so he is missing a few feathers, but he just refused to have time off. What I mean is he got so noisy when I stopped playing him, because we try and give them 3 months off a year where they don't do anything, and that really shows now. So quickly that they identify who they know and who they don't. And actually we all saw it was off facial, the whole face.